Well, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. Whew, this has been a day. Um, I went to send an email to another streamer on Twitch with some patterns that I had drawn for her. And when I opened my email, I realized I had 3 yarn orders that had been placed over the last 3 days, and for some reason it did not flag me. So I was trying to get those out fast this morning. My sweet husband took them to UPS for me, but I had to do all the paperwork in advance. So, we are now going to go back to our regularly scheduled programming. How about that? So, remember when we left off yesterday, um, we had um, to dye some yarn. So, I'm just trying to find something that I'm looking for. Oh, I swear. Everything seems to be buried. Seriously buried. Because I'm not finding what I need. Hold on. I'm going to bring this back here. Let me look on the floor and see if the cat has knocked things off that I'm looking for. I don't. Oh, I see it. I see it. Okay. So, happy New Year's Eve. Hopefully, y'all are getting ready to do something exciting. We never do anything exciting. So, hopefully, y'all are. Okay. Now, where we left off yesterday. I needed to dye more yellow to finish this. I started with that. Well, it's more of the darker color, and I didn't want that. So then I left what was in the pot. I pulled that out real fast, and it dyed faster than I wanted it to. I then left the dye that was in the pot, and I just literally ran this through. And that's the color I want. It is a yellow. It doesn't look as bright on my screen as always, but that is the color I wanted. I want it lighter because it's coming behind the cat. And so let me cut that real quick, and we will finish up our little flashlight area. And then I'll show you what I did with the other. Okay, so this one's the edge, so I'm not going to use it. Let me cut a little more, because I think we'll probably need, we may not need any more, but let's go ahead and cut some just in case. Okay, so I think this will be plenty probably. here we go. Let's move my thing and scoop me up to the thingy. Okay, and remember the black is just a place marker. Ooh. Hold on just one sec. Okay. Sorry about that. He went to the UPS office and they decided to be closed all day today. And I'm like, well, then why would they allow me to pick that date? So I had to call another one, make sure they were open so he could run to that one. And I think that will do it. Hopefully we won't hear again. All right. Ooh. Okay. I'm having to close this straight because it's hit the point where it's blinding me. Oh, all right. Give me one more second because I think that's my groceries and my husband was supposed to get those, but he's not here. Okay, I am back again. And there should be no more interruptions, I do not believe, for the rest of the stream, hopefully. Okay. It's just been a morning. A morning. Oh, and I'm hitting my stand. Hold on. I don't know why my wheels can't stay where they're supposed to. All right. So now we're back to finishing up. Oh, I did get that a little light. Maybe I should mix in some of this that I did. That's a little darker. Let's see what it looks like. Nope, I don't want that. Is that the one I did that was darker? I think it is. All right, let's see. What this looks like. All right, so that is a little darker. I think next to this bright right here, we may have to use that and then use this back here. Let's see. Let's see what it looks like. All right, hold on. Okay. So this yellow, I took out, I put in and left it for a few minutes, and it took the color right away. So I yanked it out because I thought, oh no, it's too dark. And so then I just left what little bit of dye was in there and did this other one. So here's the difference. So there's that one. And then this was just with the leftover dye. They're both yellow, and this still has a lot of yellow, but you can tell the difference in the darkness. So, but what I used prior was quite dark. So, oh, okay. I'm grateful for the 3 sales of yarn. I think that was 9 skeins of yarn that I sold, but I was not prepared to have to do that first thing this morning, and I was caught off guard. But it's done. He's taking it. It's gonna ship. I still was able to get the groceries. Okay. babies. Oh. Okay. So now, let's go to this lighter. Oh, excuse me. That one came on fast. I'm trying to double that over just a little bit so that I'm not working on the bulk of the, yeah, I don't like that. Do you? Nope. It's too light, isn't it? All right, we're going to take that out. I give up on all that right there. That one is going to be too light. I'm glad we ended up with both. Okay, so we are going to go back to this darker. That was the lighter. I don't like that edge, so let's cut some more. Alright, so let's work with that. Oh. Okay. Alright, so we're back to going with this darker. Still not as dark as some of these around the edges and what's down there. So it will work, but then I think what we'll end up doing is figuring out what colors we want for the yarn, and I'll dye that. We've gone from air conditioner yesterday because it was 78 here. And in Texas, you can't always open your windows because of the humidity. So, and then last night it got down to 40, which is fine because we sleep with the AC on. And, I mean, it just doesn't run, right? And then today, our high is going to be 58. And we're now down into the 50s and supposedly next week 40s. So we just cannot make up our mind on what we want to do here. So the other day, The other day I was sitting here and I went to push myself up on my arms of my chair, and my chair arms turned. So I slipped and hit my forearm right my um, on the corner, I mean on the edge of my desk, and I have a big bruise. And now the it's hitting the arm of the chair every time I move, and it's rubbing it raw. So I'm having to adjust my arm here. It's tender. It's a little tender. Okay. Let me just reach down here for a second. There we go. Come on. Come here, pillow. I'm just going to put that pillow as a buffer. That will help. Here we go. Much better. Much better. All right. Now, when we steam this will all spread out too and, take its shape. So we don't have to worry about, oh, that doesn't look exactly blah, blah, because we aren't anywhere near the finished product. Kind of like when you get a haircut and you watch what they're doing, you're thinking, oh no, this is not going to work. And then it does. Or a hair color. So let's cut one more set, and then that should do it on the yellow. How did we get to where y'all can't see me again? There we go. Because I pulled my thing out, huh? Okay. I'm trying to adjust the pillow that my elbow is hitting the desk on, but it will be fine. So we're finishing up the yellow from where the flashlight is going to shine. The black is just a placeholder. It may or may not end up being a black cat. I don't know. We haven't gotten there. And I had to dye enough wool here to finish this part, and then I dyed some wool for our trunk that will turn it around and work on the trunk here in just a minute, as soon as I finish this little bit of yellow, and see how that's going to work. I think it'll be good, but I'm not sure. I think it'll work, because we have to have two shades, right, because of where the flashlight's going to hit, so we have to shade it correctly. I'm just going to leave that there for a second and finish this last little bit, and then we will flip you around, little pattern. All right. Okay. So all right. So let me fix my little mat that goes around. All right. So again, like I said, this is just a placeholder. And I do have a picture up there of what we had done 2 days ago, so we know what the colors are. And I am going to turn my frame. Hold on just one sec. Let's turn this around so that we can get back going. You know what? I may work on it sideways, I think. So let me move my camera a little bit. All right. So here is the trunk. And this was the color that we want to use for the dark areas here, right? This nice pretty chocolate brown, kind of a teddy bear brown is what it's called. So what I did was I needed a lighter for here, right, where the trunk is in the flashlight. You see my flashlight line right here? Okay, so this will be down here for the trunk, and then this will be up here, and it will be the lighter, and then my little latch right here will be this nice pretty gold. And I'm trying to decide if I use this for my lines. Won't be that many lines because I'm not going to be able to fit that in. Then, and this little handle cut out here, or do I go black? And if I go black, then I can do a gray here. And I think I'm probably going to like that better. I'm already talking myself out of this color. So, ouch. So I think, let me look at what I have in blacks. Hold on, my husband just walked in. Let me see what he has to say. Okay, so, and then remember we have a placeholder here. This turquoise is not going to be the color of the flashlight. So let's work on this trunk. Now, here's my black for this darker part. But for this lighter, let's see what we have. I think that gray is too light. I'm kind of trying to go the same lightness as I'm stepping from here to here. Oh wait, you can't see that. As I'm stepping from here to here, then I need to go from this to comparable, right? Oh, y'all can't tell that because of my lights. Let me see what we have here. That is a gray. Come on, focus in, camera. That is a gray. Well, we can play with it and see, right? We can always take it back out. That is our rule. But what I do know is that I want my latch to be this gold. So I'm just going to cut some strips real quick of the gold so that we can see that. Go ahead and put that in there. So I'm just going to go ahead. All right. Okay, so now let's focus on the latch. You know what? I'm going to spin this one more time. Oh, sorry. All right, let's bring this back over here. All right. And that way I can see. I was leaning all the way across the thing, and what's the point? Okay. I am going to take that out because stop. My whole frame is wanting to turn, not just my. Let me hold on. Sometimes tools are not quite as easily used. All right, I'm gonna turn it this way because I want my latch to go this direction. And then I'm gonna probably have to cut a little bit of all of my I'll end up cutting from several different strips because even like right here, this is going to be in the light, this part of the closing of the trunk, but this part of the closing of the trunk will be in the dark. So oh, I see a little kitty walking around. Well, he's not little, but I see a kitty. All right. No, hi. No, you can't come over here. Can you lay down beside mommy right there? I know. Do you want to say hi to everyone and show how beautiful you are? Nope, you're turning your head. Okay. Here. There you go. Oh, hold on. There you go. You want to sit there and be in the sunshine? That sunshine shows under where you can see my hand underneath. You can see my hand. That's where I hold the yarn. All right. Did he just jump back down? Yep, he did. Okay, so this is this old lock. We're going to pull that up. Okay. Oh, that blinds me. Bouncing off the desk. Okay. So, all right. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I've got some black and I've got some gray, right? And I don't need any more of this because that's the gold. So I am going to cut a little bit of this and cut a little bit of this so that we can then pull and mix and match and see what happens. So give me just a second to do a little bit of cutting. Oops, sorry. I'm beating up the camera. All right. I'm going to cut one more set because the edge one is not really usable on that one. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is a long one. This is so long. One piece may do quite a bit. long. These are really, really long pieces. All right. So here is kind of the two things in the light and outside the light. So let's see what happens. I'm going to bring this back around sideways because I'm going to have my trunk go this way. I'm going to tighten this. Let me move this camera just a little bit. Okay. And let me grab a drink real quick. Ooh. Tursky. All right. So now remember my line is right here. So let's just do this. All right. So here in just a second, we'll end up here with the black. So we'll see what we think of this. So we're not going to make a judgment yet. We're going to do a couple of these and see what we think. What I'm trying to decide now is, do I make this pattern right here, or do I just let the lines blend in? I don't know. Okay. So there is, with the light hitting the bottom half. Ooh, I'm cold. All right. So let's now see where we are on this part. Okay. So now, right across from that, right, I'm going to start the So as soon as I get these lines in, then I'm going to start to fill in with the two browns to see with where the flashlight hits how those are going to look together. So let me just get these last few lines done, and then we can see what the browns will look like together in the flashlight. Because right, this is the lighter part, the darker. I'm trying to take it with the same hues that I have with the wools, with the browns. Alright, so alright. So I'm not going to do two more. I'm just going to fit one in between here. Just because my strips, I'm using thicker strips. Okay. Alright. So now let's start down here. So right here, I'm just going to go to where this line is that's showing the flashlight, right? So I'm going to finish this strip, and then we'll put one of the darker in below and see what we think of the colors. Okay, let me turn. Alright, so here's where the flashlight. Alright, so this is where the flashlight ends right here. So now let's add the dark and see what we think. So let's just start right here. Okay, so let's see what we think. I'm going to finish this piece of wool out. And that will give us a good sample to decide if we like these colors. Why? Where did you come from? What are you? Okay, I don't know where you came from. I told you these were really long strips. Okay, I'm going to just fill in right here just because I will forget it later if I don't. Okay, so all right, so let's spin this around and look at that for a second. I'm also going to take a picture because sometimes it helps to look at it. I love the dark. I think this looks really nice. I don't know about the other. So, I definitely like the bottom. So I'm going to continue on with the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to take this as far as, which is right there. I'm assuming that was The Godfather, which groundbreaking gangster film of the 70s not only won an Oscar but also saw its sequel take home the prestigious award. Find out when the ad ends. So I'm assuming that's Godfather. What do y'all think? Godfather. I was correct. Yay me. I get a point. Okay. I'm thinking that probably what I'm going to end up doing is taking this and darkening it more. I think it's just too light. And I may need to do a dark gray. But I'm going to keep going on the dark part of the trunk because I do like the colors we've picked for this dark part. Um, I'm not sure I like the colors for the lighter. Okay, let me cut a couple more. I smell coconut. Why do I smell coconut? Must be whatever this fabric was washed in. I like the bottom of the trunk. Let me get a drink. Okay. I'm having a landslide over here on the side. Hold on. Okay. All right. And then once I get this little section done, I'm going to spin it around and work from the other side. And why does my voice sound so low? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and spin this because I'm leaning way over. Okay, so let me find my black because I need to cut a couple of pieces. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this because that's the handle, right? And then this part and this will be the rest of the dark part of the trunk. And because this is a handle, I don't want it to be directional. So alright, so I'm going to higgly piggly this one. See how this doesn't show any direction? You can't see, like you can see where these are directional, the loops. I'm going to bring you down here. Here, you can't see that at all. It does not show. But here, you can see how those loops go in a row. Oops. Well, I tried being smooth. That end may not have been smooth. All right. All right, so that's the black handle. And so I think I'm done with the black right now. So we're going to go right here. Oh, but you know what? I lied. I lied. Um, so this is like the top, not where the lid is. Like here's the latch. But then this is, you know, where it curves and starts at the top. So we need to do this here. And then right here, because we'll need to go around I may pull this one back out because it may be fine. It may just be the brown, but I'm going to leave it for right now. And then again, right, let me get this because it's in my way. Who first peered into the cosmos and discovered that the Milky Way is not the only galaxy in the universe? That's awful thin, so I'm going to pull that up a little bit farther and cut it off. Edwin Hubble. Oh, the Hubble telescope. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Which is in Texas, isn't it? The Hubble? Isn't that the one in Fort Davis? Oh, Okay, now that's got me. Right? The Hubble telescope's in. Okay, now I have to check. Oh no, that's the one in the. Oh, so it's the one out in space. What telescope is in Fort Davis? The McDonald Observatory. How can I not remember McDonald? Hobby Eberly. Huh. Well, there you go. You learned something new. Or I learned something new. Okay, so I like the dark for the trunk, this dark chocolate brown in the black. And we need to go lighter for where the flashlight is. Oh, well, y'all can't see all of it. So the flashlight, where it's going to shine on this part of the trunk. I don't like those colors. I'm going to have to dye a darker gray because I don't see one. Although, I could try this gray and let's see what that looks like. And then I'm going to have to re-dye the brown that I did and make it darker because I no likey the way it looks. So, but we can cut this darker gray and see if that, I thought it would be too dark at first, but I am now thinking no, it is not going to be too dark. So I can dye those this evening if I need to. Because this ended up, even though it was a chocolate brown, it ended up more pulling more of the red than it did the darker. So I'm gonna have to re-dye that or find a different brown to do. And if y'all ever want to watch the process of me dyeing, then let me know and we'll see about trying to set up a different setup in the kitchen when I dye wool or yarn, because I'm getting ready to pull down a Valentine one that I'm going to do, and I'm going to have to see what I have for that because that will have to be dyed. Alright, so now I'm going to cut one more piece just to fill in this little bitty dot. But that's alright. Because even... Okay, what am I smelling? It's got to be the soap this wool was washed in. Alright. Alright. So let's look. So here's the flashlight shining, and here's the trunk, the part that's in the dark, and this is going to be that mannequin right here. And I love the brass latch. I don't like this. So let's do this and see if that is just enough light to fix these stripes. So I'm going to turn it back this way. Let me lock back down a little bit. All right, and then let me cut this. And see what we think about this. And see if we like this better. Now, what's cool about this, right, is we can just grab this and pull it out. Oh, I hit the camera, I'm sorry. And it just pulls out. Because we know we don't like that. So, and then if you ever need to just redo it, you just take your fingernail, rub it around, and they disappear again. So let's try this and see what we think. I won't like this fabric, I can already tell you. But if it looks better, then we're good. And it may be too white. Although it's not showing as obviously, is it? So let's... Oh, stop it. You're just being a stinker on purpose. Hold on. Okay. So, there we go. Let me cut this. All right. So, that looks a little better, doesn't it? We already know I'm going to dye a darker brown than what this is. Hey, Classy, Happy New Year to you. How are you? Is it nighttime there yet? Are you about to have big plans and go out? Oh, I'm sorry you're still sick. Well, that's a bummer. We're not that exciting. We will stay in and binge watch something, I'm sure. Now, tomorrow, I have all of our traditionals. I'll fix ribeyes and black eyed peas. You gotta have your black eyed peas and cornbread if you're in the South. So, are there traditions in Italy that they have for New Year's? You know, like in Ohio, they always do cabbage, lentils. Okay. It was always cabbage or sauerkraut in Ohio. Ugh, I hated it. I mean, I didn't eat it, but because I had my black eyed peas. But it was stinky. Okay, I'm thinking I may like that. See? Yeah? Sauerkraut for you too, huh? Gross. Yep, that was it. I'm sure that's where it came from in Ohio was. Yep, all those Germans. And then so many Amish, right? There were so many Amish and where we were at. So yep, that sauerkraut. Yeah. So, because they speak a type of German still. But yeah, there was even one of the little suburbs by us. They had a sauerkraut festival, and I thought, who in the world wants a sauerkraut festival? But it was a big deal. Well, I hope you get to feeling better soon. It's a bummer to be sick over the holidays. All right, I think I'm liking this color here. It does make it look a little lighter, since that's where the flashlight is hidden, so the shading will be right. It's a little speckledy, but it gives you that look at the light. We'll see when I dye new wool for the um, lighter part of the trunk if this will blend with it. but for right now, I like it. This one's trying to fall apart a little bit, but some of them just, when they have a bunch of woven, like some of the plaids, are a little more fiddly because they start trying to shred when you cut them. But I'm thinking I like that a little better. It's not quite such a harsh light, and I still don't have. Oh, you know what I should have done? Okay. Why I didn't do this. I have this, but look, if you look at the inside of it, it's just the opposite. I could have used that on the trunk for the light and the dark. That would have gone together. I always forget that. I need to fold this. I don't know how. Oh, I guess maybe like this. I need to fold it so I can remember there's a light part and a dark part. Right? I think I have another one that does that too. This one is not. This one is just one I'm doing. The one I'm working on for the next book that comes out, I have two. So I have to have them done by March. This one, I think you saw my mermaid. That's one of the ones that'll be going in the next book. And then I haven't cleaned it up yet though. And so that's one in the next book, and then this one is in the next book, but I didn't want to dye the yarn for the roses myself. So I'm waiting for the fabric to come in to do the roses, and then we'll finish that one off. And that both of those have to be done by March. So this one is just a fun one for me. This is just a little detective series. It's got they did a she did a 3-part little detective series, female detectives, kind of like her take on Nancy Drew. So I did So this is the Menace in the Attic, which is of course the cat. And so she's got a flashlight, and so she's shining it this way, right? So you can see my yellow. So half of the trunk is in light and half of it's in dark. So I'm trying to find, this is too light. I dyed this yesterday, but it's still too light, I think. I need to go a darker shade. So I'm trying to make it look like the light's hitting this section. And so that's where I'm at. So I'm struggling. I like this combo. I dyed this, but I think it's too light. And it turned out a little more purpley out of that chocolate brown. So I think that's too light. So I need to go a shade between these two. And that will be the lighter part of the trunk. But I'm not minding this. I had a gray in there and I didn't like the gray. So I'm trying to see what I think of this. Which I think will give it enough, it breaks up the black enough to make it look lighter. But we'll have to see with whatever brown I put in here. So imagine this being the light part and that being the dark part when the light hits the trunk. That's where I'm at, but I'm just playing with colors at the moment because I think I'm going to have to dye some more tonight. Which my next ones that I'll do are Valentine's Day ones. I loved Nancy Drew, and I loved I have all the Nancy Drew books, and I loved the Hardy Boys, and Cozy Mystery is my favorite kind of book to read. So, and then of course, you know, I follow true crime and make everybody crazy, but I do like it, and so I thought this will be a fun series just for me to do for me, just to have some creative juices flowing. So I was trying to do with what I had yarn wool wise, but I'm getting ready to do some fun Valentine ones, old like 1910 1920 postcard looking ones, Valentine cards. I've got a couple of those that I want to work on next. So that will be after this one. But this one, he spills, you can see the sketch up in that I have on the screen. He's knocked over a thing of yarn, so that'll be fun. I'm going to do some fun colors with the yarn. Maybe some bright fluorescents to match this down here. This one I am just playing around with. I don't have any rules. I don't have to do any. I can do it however I want to do it. So the two that I showed you that I was working on for the book, it's a so she did what was called 31 Days of Roses. She did that the month of May, and she designed, I don't know, probably 35 patterns at that time. And then she decided that she was going to do a book on those. But what she wants it to be is kind of a twofold book, because there's so the mermaid rug really is called the Mermaid Rose. There's a rose. And so her only requirement was that the flowers actually looked like the original flowers. So let me see if I have my picture of my mermaid rose. So the mermaid rose it looks like that. So That was my one rule, is I had to make the roses look like the mermaid rose, because she wants it to be used as a kind of a rose encyclopedia along with um, the having the rug patterns in it too. So that's what that one looks like. And then the this one is actually called the Scented Jewel. That's what this rose is called. And so it will actually look like this. So I'm waiting for these colors to come in. So that's why I am on pause on that rug. And I'm doing something for me. Something fun. Ouch, I just hit the thing. So this one I have no limits. I can make it bright, I can make it dark, I can play with it however I want. And even if the rules don't apply, like the normal rule of 3 and the normal, blah, blah, blah. I don't usually go by the rules. I do what I want. And then next month, one of the streamers on here wants to do a collab. She wants to learn to do the mini punch, which is the Russian punch. And what I do now instead of cross stitch. So she's got twins. And so what I did was I drew door hangers for their bedroom doors and sent that to her. So we're going to do work on those in January as a collab. I'm going to teach her live on stream. That'll be fun. You want to learn how to hook like this? So you can always start inexpensively. There are definitely ways to do it inexpensively. You don't have to have all the fancy stuff. You can even use a regular crochet hook at first, although I like my hook only because my hook has a point at the bottom. So when I'm going in, then I have just that little bit of help not to have to struggle through the fabric. That point just automatically kind of separates things. But you can use, you could use your son's old t-shirt. You could, clothes he's grown out of. I mean, originally that's how this started, right? This is actually one of the only rug hooking with the hook. Is one of the only ones you can really prove started in the U.S., the origins of it. And women used to take the flour sacks and old clothes and a bent needle, a bent nail is how one lady started. Her husband bent her a nail, and she would just stick it in that flour sack and take clothes they had outgrown and pull that through, draw a really so when you see a lot of people do primitive rug hooking, which is more like folk art, and that's what they would do, is they would draw on their sack, on their flour sacks, or sew their flour sacks together, or open them up, sew them together, and then just take something bent and pull pieces of fabric through and make rugs for their dirt floors. And a traveling salesman realized that's what they were doing. And so he started doing patterns. And then the women didn't want to have to color plan, so they wanted the patterns to already have color on them. So if you see any really, really old patterns, this would already be brown, and this would already be purple, or whatever, whatever the colors are that he had picked. And then flour sack people got wise, and that's when you started seeing the flour sacks printed with um, different patterns on them. Is because they were like, oh, we could put a pattern on here, and then they could choose, do they want to buy this one or this one? And that is how this started. And you can always start really, really small, like I did. I make, mug rugs. So you can start something very, very simple. The one I'm going to show Jamie is the Russian punch, which is with the Ultra Punch needle, and it uses DMC floss. So, and most people, if they've ever cross-stitched, have all that already in their stock. Under what joint pseudonym did the writer duo Frederick Dane and Manfred Bennington Lee become famous in the literary world? I understand they're probably getting stir crazy too, right? Especially with you sick. So I will, while I'm off screen tonight, I will dye more wool because this is too light. I'll try to find a shade in between there, and then tomorrow we can work on that if anybody's going to be around before I make my black-eyed peas and cornbread. Ellery Queen. No audio. That's how I felt early this morning. I went on to send an email and saw I had 3 orders for yarn that had been coming in the last 3 days and I wasn't even aware. So right before I went live, I had to hurry and get those pulled and packed, and then my husband ran them to UPS. One UPS was closed, the other one was open, and then come to find out they're not mailing anything until Tuesday anyway. I mean, till Thursday. So it's like I rushed all around and did all that, and doesn't even matter. So just, I don't know if you've ever heard of Destashify. So, I collect yarn. Probably shouldn't. So, no. So, it's not my yarn. It's yarn that I have purchased over the years that I am just cleaning out. Nice yarn. Like I just shipped off some yarn today that was from England. But just selling my excess. Not real. Not. Now, I do dye yarn, but I don't ever sell it. Now, if you need a specific color, then I probably could, but I just dye it for myself usually. But yeah, I do dye my own yarn. I do dye my wool. Same process. It's just the wool I can throw in the so I have yeah, you probably do need a nanny. But with all your animals, I don't even know that would help. You need a farmhand too. So I know you have goats. Do you have sheep? You have one sheep. So do you spin? Because see, my husband wants sheep and I knit. And I said, there is a lot that happens in between those two. Oh, very cool. There is a lot that happens though between my knitting with yarn and a sheep. Oh, hers isn't the wearable type. So I'm like, yeah, no, that doesn't even sound fun to me. Unless I can get those little black nosed sheep. They were in was tapestry wool. So I had my husband just build me a tape loom. Yeah, I have a drop spindle. I've done it with the drop spindle. Yeah, have you seen the little electric wheels that are desktop? Oh, not that I need to get you down another path, I'm sure, but they're really cool. So I had my husband build me a tape loom because what they use tape looms for is, so imagine a rug on the floor, right? Oh, well, there you go. There's your next Christmas. I know I am. It's horrible. I'm just helping. I'm helping. Not bad influence. I'm helping. But our rule in our house is if you have to explain you're helping, if you have to say, but I'm helping, then you're probably not helping. Toy rodeo. Where's my tape loom? Oh, he took my tape loom apart. So there you go.
Here.
So
Well, I gotta put the build a part for that.
okay. So when you have a rug that you're actually wanting to put on the floor, so look at your rugs, and there's an edge to them, right? Or there should be. If there's not, then you see where as you walk across it, it's just wearing and wearing and wearing. And so your wool starts coming out. Ooh, yeah, see? So what I do is I bind my rugs around the edge so that if you're hitting this part as you're walking across it, right? You tend to hit it and they wear on the edges. Then all I have to do is undo this yarn and rewrap the edge. And so my rug, my actual rug, I don't lose any of that, right? Have you ever seen rugs at, you know, flea markets or antique shops that they've lost some of their edging, right? So I cord mine if it's going to be on the floor. I cord mine and wrap it in yarn so that I can always change this and it's never, the wear is not happening on my actual rug. But somebody said something the other day about a tape loom, and I'm like, what's a tape loom? So my husband made me a tape loom, and so you weave your yarn into a braid, and then that braid will wrap around here just like my yarn does, but it will be braided with the colors that are in my rug for a border. I'm so excited. That is my next thing to learn now is I have to go watch a bunch of videos on tape looms. I don't want a big loom. I don't have any desire to weave big things, but that I can get behind. Yeah, so yes, so even my yarn, I just put it in a needle and then I roll my edge. So let's say I was going to make this for the floor, which I'm not, but let's say we didn't work. I would cut it. Yeah. So I would cut this right here, leave about an inch, and then I would roll this really, really tight. And then I would take and either with the tape loom or the tape that I made from the tape loom or with just yarn, and then I would just keep going like a basting, right? And then just pull tight, and that will make that edge so that you're hitting this and not this, and this can always be redone over and over. You want a large quilter's table. Yeah, that would. I am not a quilter. Well, I do English paper piecing. That's the only quilting I can do. My husband said it's because I don't know how to do geometry. You always learn something from me. Well, I love sharing all that kind of stuff. I enjoy talking about it and doing it. But yeah, I can't. So my husband can quilt. He hand quilts, but yeah. So my husband has, and I think part of my problem originally was um, have you ever English paper pieced? So my husband says I cannot do it because I don't know geometry. And I said I was too cute to take geometry. That's not my problem. Yeah, yes, absolutely. And it will always stay full. You may decide you don't like that. Okay, so English paper piecing. So I can't quilt, and that's he says, because it's not geometry. For me, I think it's more about, I have a scrapbooker's mentality, right? So you save you cut your pieces to where there's as little waste as possible, and quilting has waste. But English paper piecing, hold that thought. I love English paper piecing. All right, you ready to go down a new rabbit hole? Hold on. Let me. Oh, maybe sorry. Here we go. I will send you off with a new project to go down a rabbit hole with. So English paper piecing takes cardboard or so it takes, you can use cardstock, you can use old cards and cut them up, whatever it is, but it takes how do I not have any blank ones? Oh, I do. So it just takes cardstock, right, in whatever shape. These are hexagons, and you can see I use them a lot. I reuse them over and over. They have a hole in the center so that I can pop them off. So what you do is you take fabric and you can use a quilter's, hexagon cutter thing, right? That gives you the 1/4 inch or whatever you want to do. And you can cut that, and then you take them and you can either base them around onto the cards, or I just use the fabric glue. Then you have all these nice, really crisp lines, right? No ironing, no anything. And then you take those and you start hand sewing them together. So, like, all right, so I don't have, so, oh, let me see, do I have, no, okay. So, instead of these hexagons, pretend I was doing triangles, right? So then I have all these little triangles that are already put on the little cardstock, and see how nice and crisp those little ends are. And these have probably been in there for a year, if not more, right? So there's all my little corners. Then, whatever your pattern tells you to do, or make up your own. Oh, I did have one here. So it ends up, oh, this is for my son-in-law at some point. So you sew these on. So you would put these two together and you would hand sew that. And it's teeny tiny little stitches, right? Just like you hand sew your quilt. Then you keep going around and doing each one. Now, the trick is you do not take these papers out until you have all of them around. Yeah, yep, just a little whip stitch. Just teeny tiny. So this one's not done, right? So you would not, so can you, yeah, just one, can you see all those little bitty stitches? Just, down the side. Just like boop, 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 right? So, because there's not any here, you don't want this paper out, because you still need to match up against these and you need your crisp lines. Now on this one, because I already have all of these sewn on, I can't take these edges out because I need to sew on to the next one, right? But I can take the one out of the middle. So now there's no card in that one. And then as you get bigger, you can keep popping these cards out. So like, so this is the one I'm working on right now with the triangles, it's called Twirling Teacups. Okay, so I've already done all of this. I can go ahead and pop the cards. I don't have holes in these, so I gotta get my fingernail in there. But so do you see that? I can go ahead and pop that out of there. And my triangle's ready to reuse again. And then this will become soft again because the cards aren't on there. So this whole section, I could go ahead and do that too. I know, isn't it wonderful? And so I can quilt without having to quilt. And I can sit on the sofa and just work away, and I'm not having to iron. Okay, are you back? Everybody's ads go differently. You're back, yay. Okay, so yes. So all you need to do is have your seam allowance, and then I just cut. So there's even ones that I have cut like little squares instead of the triangles, and then you just fold them around your card. And if they have, like, some of these are way more than a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so you can see the difference. But this is the least you want to do. These, I just cut big squares, and then I just glued them down, or with the fabric glue, and I just used the glue sticks, and you just tape them down. So if you have extra, you can just trim off if you're not wanting to be that precise. You just never want to have less than a 1/4 inch. And you can just, make up your own thing. You don't have to. These literally were just pieces I had, and I had a bunch of these hexagon size, and so I just started doing them, and then I was just going to put them all together like this, and then at the ends just cut some halves so I could finish out the border, but I had no plan. I mean, I don't have a pattern or anything for those. But then you can order patterns. And if it's a set, it will come with the paper pieces included, but it's English paper piecing, and Amazon has all the hexagons. Just the little ones are a lot of work. You want to go bigger, or I want to go bigger at least. And then if you buy a pattern, then it'll tell you your fabric requirements, and then it'll tell you how many of each you need to cut. And so since these were all triangles, I just cut them all. And I just bought one of those, what do you call those round packs of quilting fabric? You know, they're just one of those little, this thick and round with strips. So I just bought one of those, and I was able to cut everything I needed for this one here with some left over. Okay, did I send you down a new rabbit hole? I love these. And once you do all the cutting, then literally you sit on your sofa with a glue stick and jelly rolls. That's it. Yay! Classy. That's it. That's what I was trying to say. Jelly rolls. So I would just sit on, you know, once I got them cut, because I would use my rotary cutter and a mat and cut them, and then I would just sit down, and one day would be all about, you know, gluing them together, or 2 or 3 days, just gluing them all and then laying them out and getting ready to start sewing them together. And that's all there is to it. And then you pull the cards out once you're done. Woohoo! Something new. I have way more crafts than I need. But that entire quilt and the tools I need for it only take up this little suitcase. So see, that's easy and compact. I can't say that about all of my crafts, but that one. And that one you can grab and use, you know, do in the car when you're traveling, and it's like knitting. It's easier to move around with, or crochet. Although I crochet such big stuff that's like a big nightmare to carry those around. All right, I think I am happy with this at the moment. I'm just getting some of the threads that are laying down in between. All right, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my gold hook, and I'm happy with the way that's turned. Let me turn it this way so you'll see it from its correct angle. But I'm not happy with this, so we're going to take that out. Pretend that's not there. Whoops. There's the cat caught in the light. Now I could actually, you know what, maybe that's not a bad idea. I could take and make, I'm all tangled, all my little thingies are all tangled over here. I could make this lighter, because in the dark, even if it was a cream, it would look darker. So that is an idea. And that way I didn't waste dyeing that. Not that it matters, but so let me do the black for right here for this armhole too, for the mannequin. And then come back in with that lighter. And I won't want to do her with any kind of direction, right? We have the flashlight that is directional, that we've hooked it directionally. It all looks like it's going up. And then we have the trunk going directionally like this for the wood grain. But I don't want the mannequin to have any direction. So we will higgly piggly her, or it, whatever this mannequin is. And that is all I needed, was that little outline right there so that you'd know where the arm is. So I'm going to turn this back this way. And I think, let's just see what this looks like as her color, because I think that would work well. So I usually go around once and outline when I'm higgly piggling. And that way this does not go to waste. All right. So let's go ahead and we're going to outline. We do not. We'll probably step outside and watch the fireworks because we can see them from our house. And of course, all of the fireworks stands have been open for a week. So that will be going on, which will probably mean I have to keep the cat calm. And since we just did Christmas, usually my daughter and son-in-law don't come over. His birthday is January 4th, so aw, thanks. It's very sweet of you for the bits. So we it's pretty quiet. It's just my husband and I and the cat. The cat will get all the attention, I'm sure. And he's kind of a herder. He kind of likes us both in the same room, and if we're not, he's out in the hallway laying in the floor like, why are y'all not where you're supposed to be? So other than cooking, our traditions, and I made sure my mom and brother had theirs, so we're good. It will be a nice chilly, and we actually have a little cool front coming in, or came in. We had, it was 78 yesterday, and our high today is 58. And then by next week, I think we're supposed to be in the 40s. So we're finally getting some winter weather. Well, fall. So that is about it for us. Thanks for the cheer bits. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. And I'm assuming since you're sick, y'all will still have a quiet one. When does your husband have to travel back? That's what I thought you had said. He wasn't going to be there. But I saw him crashing in your stream, so I knew he was there. So that's nice. You got extra time. I'm going to turn this. What controversial statement was emblazoned on the car sticker of the titular character in the satirical police sitcom Sledgehammer? I have no idea. I've never seen that movie. Now, Toy Rodeo has all the dumb random facts. We'll see if he answers. love violets. Hold on. I just realized that it was getting darker because it's cloudy. So I couldn't figure out why it was so dark in this corner, but that was because my light wasn't on there. There we go. Sorry, I'm untightening. There we go. All right, Happy New Year to you. I hope you're feeling better soon, and thanks for the bits. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the, I think I'm going to like this. This is going to all come out. Whoops. This is going to come out. I'm not going to use this color over here. Oh, y'all aren't seeing this. So I'm taking this out right here. Okay. So I don't like that color for this, for the trunk. I do like it for the mannequin though. So I'm going to keep going on this. And again, I'm not going to want directional hooking on this. So as soon as I get it outlined, I will higgly piggly this. For that isn't what I did here or with the light. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I'm hitting things. I'm hitting things. All right, let me cut a little bit more. All right. Okay. So I think that's going to be too harsh. So maybe with whatever this brown is that I use for the trunk, I can put it right here. trying to see. There. Okay. So I'm going to try to re-dye. Well, not re-dye because I'm going to use this here. But I'm going to dye some more brown here. And then I may use this light silver down here for the stand of this. So I may use that for the base of the stand on this. And then this, we're going to use, where did that one go? Huh, where did you go? There we are. I think okay, so I think if I use this for the mannequin and use this for the stand of the mannequin, and this is going to be my cardboard box because we're going to have really fun colors here, and we've got her red here and her plaid skirt here, and I'm thinking some of these hot pinks that are in that lamp will need to go here. I think the problem is going to be, what in the world am I going to do on the background, the wall? I can't. So that is where all right, so I'm going to go re-dye that. Maybe look at some fun colors for that, or we can pick that out later. I probably am going to be on tomorrow, somewhere between 9 and 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And hopefully we'll finish the trunk and the mannequin. If we don't get anything else done, at least we can get those two done. And I may retake the picture just to see, so we can put it up here and be able to see what we're looking at with the yellow and this darker brown already on it. And I hope everyone has a very safe and fun and happy New Year's Eve. And I hope to see you tomorrow in the new year. We'll talk to you soon.